Hello, hello, and happy Wednesday. Let me get my cursor over to my other side. Find it so that I've got my chat set up. Yay. Hope everybody is doing great today. I'm going to be all blown out, I'm afraid, because the lights, the sun's coming behind me here, and not a whole lot of anything else I can do right here. And that is all I'm going to say about that with regard to lighting. It is what it is, what it is, right? So how is everybody today? Let me go see what else was happening on the rest of the chat here. Whoops, if I do that, I'm going to lose my cursor. Doggone it. We haven't reversed the things on my screen yet, so I've got to go left to go right. All right, let's come over here and find... I need to find a better way to keep up on chat. Hey, Lori and Jude and Martha and Mona and Brenda and Penny and everybody whose name I can't see because I can't figure out how to go. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I can do it over here. There we go. Margaret, Victoria, Terry's here. Let's see. Lorna's here. I saw that Took was going to be working and lurking. Hi, Hallie. Hi, Doreen. Yay, Lala. Oh, my goodness. All you guys making my Wednesday. So thank you. And you guys wondering, oh, you made homemade turtles? Yum, yum. You guys wondered if I was going to be able to resist the temptation to work on it this week. And let me tell you, I've been so busy that no, I have not worked on this project at all. I need to make one more little... I really wish this giant monitor was a touch screen. I'm very spoiled with the touch screen. But you forget to eat. Yeah, that gives me a headache. And I had to take sinus meds today, so I may be kind of loopy at some point. It's just starting to kick in. But thank you, everybody who joined the Facebook group. Boy, my face is really blown out. Sorry about that. I know, I said I wasn't going to apologize anymore, because that helps a little bit. Thank you for joining the Facebook group, which is almost a week old. I cannot believe that I did that. I would not have done it had you guys not encouraged me to do it, let me tell you. It was sort of like jumping off the cliff into the water and not sure if the water was actually deep enough to catch me on the way down. So I may I may stick with it and I may chicken out. I'm not sure. But no, I'm going to stick with it. I'm not going anywhere. But I am going to have to be careful. Right now, some of you that joined and that are kind of, kickback lurker people, which is awesome because that's normally me. You might be a little overwhelmed because there's like just all this stuff going on and all these posts happening. And I'm just, oh, hi, Sue. I am so glad you joined us today. And Diane's here and Debbie's here. So the group shouldn't be quite so crazy making from my side of it. I shouldn't be going like posting every hour or something. And I kind of was trying to figure out how I could do that because right now I'm the only admin in the group and I'm not approving posts. I'm just approving members that they come in. But I think what's going to happen for me is I'm going to have to do like office hours and tell myself that I will check in the group in the mornings before noon. And then at noon, it's time for me to go make art of some kind or do the live. And then I'll check back in again in the evenings. And so I'm going to count on all of you guys to help because it's our group, right? It's not just my group, it's our group. Then I need you guys to, talk amongst yourselves. Janet's there. Hi. I know it's really hard when you guys have to work during the workday. And before I get going on anything, I want to, those of you that are in the group, Dee Dee, who is on my design team, which is also something on my list to talk about today. Hey, Midge. Happy you could join us today. So Dee Dee, who is, Dee Dee's just like got an awesome channel where she is just doing all kinds of stuff and she's got all this wonderful energy. She put a request out for you guys to vote on 2 kits that you want her to create with for her design team project for January. And it's kind of a fun challenge because you guys get to vote. And so she could end up with some weird combination of, game pieces and dragonflies in a hardcover or something like that. So go over. Hi, Annalie. If you guys have not seen the most recent journal cover that she did, oh my goodness, her skill set amazes me. Go check out Annalie's channel. But go vote. If you're in the group, go vote on 2 kits that you want to see her create with, and we will see what she comes up with, because she's got a brain that goes in a million different directions, different from mine. Okay, so that I think is my business, the business stuff. I've got some ideas about the live stream. And again, another huge thank you to all of you guys who have joined the group, who have shared about the group, who have shared about the Start with a Leaf challenge. How many of you here are doing something with a leaf? I saw Terry posted a beautiful drawing of a leaf that she did. I wish I had that ability, but the Start with the Leaf challenge is exciting for me. And it's not going to be the only videos I do. You will notice I actually posted another video yesterday. I was like, wow. How is that? That's quite a difference from last year, right? We're getting more videos out. Let's see. Let's pick a needle and get started here. So I'm excited. I've got so many leaf ideas. It's going to take me all year to go through them all. Babysitting 3 teens. Oh, good. Oh, good, Janet. You're going to comment. Yay. So here's my thought on this. I'm just going to, in the lives here, I'm just going to get all the straight stitching down. I was so glad to get rid of all the pins on this last week. And I just kind of want to do a bunch of straight stitches in different, I've got all these greens. Put this out here. I got to remember that the camera only sees part of this now. I'm just going to get, straight stitches everywhere on here. And then when I get that done, then I'm going to start building it up and doing something else. So tell me, it's been a whole week. We had Happy New Year. I started the group. I went a little bit of a meltdown. The lockdown. You guys in the UK, I just saw your deal, Victoria, with the postage or the mailing with the Royal Mail and all the countries that you guys have to be careful about. That's really scary. And here in California, Southern California, the Los Angeles area, which is not where I am, is really some scary statistics coming out of there. And I'm just afraid it's going to be creeping up north here. Yeah, Diane, the time management thing, it's tough. So tell me what you guys did for New Year's to celebrate. Tell me what you're working on today. I'm going to do this stitching, and then if Adele shows up, I've got something to show her. Oh, good, Margaret. You're going to put your photos up of the stitching on the leaves. Awesome. Annalie, yeah, your watercolors. Oh, my goodness. And the cover that you did. Hey, Beth. Happy to see you here, even briefly. I miss you, too. And I do have a stack of books that I need to either send you pictures or we need to arrange an outside check on things so that you can come flip through them and see if there's any of the books there that you want. Yeah, Victoria, that's just the safest things to do is just to limit things. All right, let's start. I'm going to start with this nice big one in the middle here. And the stitches are not going to be evenly spaced. They're not going to be the same line. Oh, and I'm going to be sneezing. I thought I brought Kleenex over here somewhere. I did. Allergies all year round where I live. Okay, tissue's ready. Hey, Hallie. No, you're working. No, that's not fun. Binge watching Desperate Housewives with a giant box of chocolate. Yeah, Victoria, I'm hydrating. Part of the problem is not enough liquids, but most of the problem is just that I have a wonky throat that has issues, which is why I only go for about 2 hours. So Lala's packing, purging, watching videos, and helping out in some groups. Debbie had a relaxing Christmas. Yay. We did, my husband made his quiche. Wonderful, wonderful. For New Year's Eve, and Zoe has gone deaf enough that the fireworks didn't even bother her. Yeah, Beth, maybe we have rain coming here on Friday, and then I don't remember what the weather said the rest of it, but let me know if you're home on a day that isn't raining, and I will move the books to the edge of the garage, and we can do, I can wheel them out on the cart, and then you can flip through them that way. We can do something like that. Reverse collage. Tell us about your reverse collage. That sounds interesting. Victoria's going to get more snow. I hope we get more rain. Normally by this time of year we had so much more rain, and it's really depressing to not have that much rain. It makes me scared to think about the summertime and the fires, the potential for fires. Okay, and I'm super excited because our homeowner's insurance was renewed for another year. I was so afraid. Thank you, Beth. I'm getting used to it. I'm getting more used to it. It certainly is nice not to have to pull it up out of the way all the time. Ooh, Diane's got a new desk. So Penny Pudge, Jude, can you find Penny's channel? I think it was easiest to search for Penny Pudge on YouTube. And her channel was, Penny, make a comment so that Jude can see it if you're still here. Ooh, Beth, I like that. Makes me look younger. Yeah. I'm still getting used to, I'm going to be 63 this year. So there we go. There's Penny's thing. So Jude or Mona, when one of you has a chance, if you could grab Penny's channel for me, because I would love for all of you to show Penny some love. She's got a personal challenge to try and get 10 new subscribers by the weekend. And I bet we can do better than that, right? What have we got here? We got 22 people here. 22 people here. Do you think at least half of you could go over and maybe check out Penny's channel and subscribe? She did a really fun live stream today where she was making some ephemera. Thank you, Jude. You are welcome, Penny. All right, so if you're not already a subscriber, you might have to go up the chat a little bit, but it's there, or you can search for her channel, just Penny Pudge. She used some of her master collage boards and made some goodies today. So Margaret says she's got people coming from Sydney and not doing the right thing. Oh gosh, I hope you guys don't have a spike. There we go, Penny. This ought to help. Because this is what this is all about. I was talking with Patty Lang this morning, and we were talking about what we love about certain live streams and gatherings of people, and I realized what this is for me. This is like going to Cheers, where everybody knows your name and it's all comfortable. But just because I own the bar doesn't mean I own the whole conversation. This is just the party's at my house today. The party's going to be at somebody else's house later on, and we just take turns hosting the parties. Hi, Anis. Anis. How are you doing today? Hope you had a happy new year. Oh, good, Margaret. Yeah, just stay where you are. Don't go racing around in that new car. All right, so I remember this was the bamboo. Oh, drats, I forgot to bring my tea over. I brought my water over and I forgot to bring my tea. I may go running. I'm going to run and grab my tea real quick. Talk amongst yourselves.
So I can't find it based on name.
Sorry about that. I was almost prepared, but I know that this is the best way to make sure that my throat can last all the time. There we go. Yeah, Beth and I live close enough that we can hang out when it's not crazy times. Yeah, Brenda, let's everybody tell Brenda about snippet rolls and how they're not supposed to be perfect little pieces of art. I mean, some of them are, but don't get intimidated if you look at a snippet roll video and you see just all kinds of, oh, Bonnie, hi. Happy to have you here. Don't be intimidated by seeing somebody else's, work of art snippet roll, because they're not all like that, and that's okay. We cut them apart. Oh, Lori's been making the little books that Penny made all day. Yep, that's what I want to do. I love them. Oh dear. You guys, look what I did. How many times do you do that, right? Where you pull the needle up or down at the wrong place, and I did this. So lucky me, I get to rethread the needle again. Oh yeah, so Dandelion Dream, Diane, Jude will get you. Jude will get you and post your link so we can help. Who else is trying to build things? Hey, Diane. Yeah, Lori started something with her little booklets, and I need to make some more fun ones with some mixed papers. I used to take just my pretty offcuts and then just fill them just with tea-dyed paper, but now I want to do them with a little bit more variety. All right, let's try this again. Coming up the right way. So who's working on what today? We have a couple people that are organizing. Bonnie's got a fun channel where if you guys like to work with recycled stuff, Bonnie does some really great things with recycling material. She's always got a way to keep you from throwing something away. Self-threading needles. Yeah, I think Mona posted about that a few weeks ago, and it's on my list, although I'm not using it properly, but I'm really liking this long needle. One of the things I liked about on the desk here was that I could do this even if I wanted to. But oh, that's nice, Lala. She just received a gift of a journal for helping somebody out. Wow, this is like my wonkiest part of them yet. All right. I'm gonna let it go. Let it go. So Debbie, are you doing Glue Book January? Martha's listing 2 journals in her shop and editing the description in the video. Yeah, too much technical stuff and not enough crafting. I hear you. I listed a bunch of new kits across the last week. And it's just the time that it takes to do all that kind of stuff. I'm trying to, chat's going really fast and I've got my screen set up wrong. I can see that now. My idea of a self-threading needle is have them lie by each other and tell them to thread themselves. Yes. Honest is trying slow stitching. Yeah, it's not that easy. Well, it's easy enough to put the needle and thread through to be precise, and I'm not precise about anything, so I just kind of forget it. If you guys are starting to think about Valentine's Day journals, though, I did post one of the Eco Dreams kits in bright red, really bright red. So yeah, there'll be some more Valentine's ephemera coming up later, but it's a start. No listing or filming lately. It's, just everything takes so much time. So much time. So quite simple. So you're making embellishments for your nieces, no embellishments so they can draw. Oh, yes. Self-threading needles catch the fabrics. Oh, interesting. Debbie says she's doing the daily challenge in Glue Book Banter and enjoying the Art Joy of Sharing projects. Yeah, it's hard to balance all of them. I love all the stuff in the Art Joy of Sharing group. I just don't get in there often enough. Well, Penny, give me another day and I will have 4 kits of vintage Valentine's ephemera up there. I know, isn't Jude a rock star? but I do have the red leaves, and then I'll have some Valentine's Day paper. So this week I'm going to do the rest of this week I'll be doing the Valentine's Day kits, and then it's going to be art, art, art all the time. And I figured out a place to set up the eco printing and my ink making so that I can do it even when it's raining and cold outside. Since we put the sunroom on the house, I realized last night that, you know, we have a door that's sealed enough that I don't have to worry about the smells coming through the rest of the house, because I don't do any of that stuff in the house. Annalie is hand painting envelopes, cards. People, really, you have to go look at the journal that she's working on right now. It is just stunning. Tell you more about the leaf project. Okay, so this is because I needed a commitment to myself for the year. Start with the leaf. I just really wanted to, I wanted a habit, but I knew that I would not stick with anything that I had to do on a daily basis. And because you guys know how much I love leaves, I figured, why not do something that was around leaves? And, you know, a lot of people are saying how they can't get to the leaves right now because of the weather. Well, you know, I think there's so many other things you can do with leaves. Let's just really stab myself. And I'm going to grab something to show you. If you think about leaves, I'm going to do a video on this, but you guys will get a better idea. But, you know, leaves on the fabric. Why not cut the leaf out of the fabric and stitch it onto something else? Why not just make a journal cover with leaves on it? Leaves you cut from a magazine. Leaves you stamp and then do something with. You could stamp them on fabric, stamp them on paper, emboss them. Leaf, I've got too many things here. There are leaf charms. Maybe that's your inspiration. You could trace these charms. You have skeleton leaves. And I just want to take it as not necessarily as an absolute. I have these beautiful die cut leaves that Terry sent me that I just love, and I want to play around with embossing these and doing some fun things with these. So I just want to use it as a starting off point. It doesn't have to be a finished project. Maybe you're just working on a little corner of a page to to put into your journal. And I just would love to see how many different ways people can interpret doing something with their leaves. And maybe it's just me. Maybe there won't be a whole lot of activity in it, and that's okay too. I'm okay being, the lone goose at the party. That's fine. But I think there are other nature lovers out there. You do eco printing. That's doing something with leaves. You're drawing, if you can draw a leaf. And I'm trying to decide whether to do one with a not a real leaf next, or maybe I have an idea for broken leaves, so maybe I'll do that one. Let's see, trying to read the other chat here that I missed. Shoulder surgery takes so long to recover from. And somebody in the group posted the most beautiful doodle leaves. And I have seen that done several different ways, but I just love the idea if you could take your white pens, your Posca pens, and doodle on the leaves is really, really cool. You could just wax a leaf. If you wanted to experiment with waxing, maybe you want to wax a leaf. Oh, you're still recovering on your hand surgery. Yeah, it's just really, really tough. Okay, water first. Oh, I just realized I could come back over to the computer and use the touch screen here. Diane, you're really active on Instagram, so Etsy may or may not work for you. It might be that, you just post them on Instagram. Let's see here, going back to make sure I didn't miss anything. I have a feeling I missed something when I ran to get my tea. Okay, maybe not. Maybe not. Lori, do you remember what the video was called where you made the little booklet so that we can post about that? Because I would love more people to go check that video out. And I think on these, I think I'm not, I hate it when I do that. I don't know whether I'm going to stick with the same color on a square. I think I'm going to vary it up. Every time I have to rethread it, the end gets a little more frayed. I did a good stabbing on that one. Oh. So a question we asked in the group, which I thought was great and had some good conversation about, was what did we find the easiest to do with regard to our art, and what is the most difficult? And a lot of us just had trouble picking a project. So if you're not in the group yet, let me know what is the easiest thing for you to do when it comes to your art, and what is the most difficult. So I do have trouble making a decision and then following it through and not getting distracted by something else. The easiest thing for me to do is brainstorm ideas, I think. Ideas are not the issue, it's the follow through. Let's see, Annalise on YouTube, if you look at, take the E off the end. There's no E on the end of there, Lala. Jude will find it. Jude knows her. Oh man, the inject. Yeah, I have to be very careful and not work too long. I've been really lucky with my hands when I was writing and typing so much. So I've got a bum shoulder that is kind of the same thing. Thank you, Diane. Appreciate it. So Lori and Maggie did a live stream last night where they made these little books and some other fun stuff, and plus the conversation is great, and it's definitely worth going over there and taking a look. Yeah, follow through. And I don't know why, because obviously these things, they excite us. We get all excited. And then, I don't know, sometimes I'll be in the middle of a project and I'll see something else. Okay, good, Lala. I'll get something else that gets me even more excited and I get distracted. But I don't know. I really want us to quit beating ourselves up for what we don't do. And, oh, okay. Here's a question. I want us to quit beating ourselves up. Okay, there's the link for Lori's channel. Quit beating ourselves up. And I want to, there you go, Annalise journaling on YouTube. Tell me, we've got how many people here? We've got 22 of you, so we should get at least 10 responses. Tell me, hey, Patty. Tell me what you're good at. Tell me what you're good at artistically, and then outside of the art world, what are you good at? I want to hear what everybody's good at. And something more than just making messes, which I'm exceedingly good at, but I think I'm pretty good at eco dyeing, and I think away from the art, I think I'm pretty good at listening to people. So what about the rest of you? I want to hear what you're good at. Crocheting. Lala's good at crocheting. And what about away from your art? You're a good cheerleader, Lala. Patty's in the house, so if there's anything we're going to say about her, we need to be quiet now, Lorna. Yeah, you are. You are an excellent cheerleader for other channels. Margaret says she's good at starting, not so good at finishing. In quilting circles, it's totally acceptable to have UFOs, unfinished objects, because having UFOs means you've done stuff. I like that. That means, not beating yourself up about that. What about away from art, Margaret? What are you good at away from art? There we go. There's Annalise journal, or Annalise channel. Terry says she's good at mixing paint colors. That is a good thing to have. Beth is good at finding books and ephemera. Yes, you are. You are really, really good at that. Patty's pretty good at assemblage. Ooh, and outside of art, you're a good delegator. Nice. I'm bending down here so I can read the chat on the iPad because the other one's going too fast. Debbie's good at organizing. I need to see if I can move my screen down because I suddenly can't see you guys. You guys are wonderfully chatty. All right, let's see if we can. There we go. Okay, Mona is good at arts and crafts, and we have organizers. Oh my goodness, I can't get everybody here. I got to go way back on the chat here. This is awesome. Terry's good at mixing paint covers. Terry, I want to know what you do away from art, what you're good at. Mona is good at arts and crafts, and outside of that, she's good at teaching and explaining. Debbie's a good organizer. Janet's good with watercolor, and she's a good office manager. Penny is a good encourager. You sure are. Hey, Sherry, welcome. Happy to have you here. And Terry's a good gardener. Yeah. Bonnie's good at transforming old furniture. Ooh. Victoria's good at organizing when I get started. Yeah, it's that starting thing again, right? It's always the starting thing. Annis is a good listener. Debbie's has been a personal assistant all her life. Best job for you. Do you want to be a virtual assistant, Debbie? Maybe we need to have a chat. I'm not kidding very much. Lorna's a scanning queen, that's for sure. Beth, I don't know what you're on. I can pop out my chat because that's why I've got the big monitor here. I can pop it out on my iPad or on my laptop. I can't pop it out on my iPad. Diane's a great cheerleader, listener, supporter, love helping other folks. Janet's also good at scrolling YouTube. Yep. Holly's good at improvising. Ooh. There you go. So Debbie's going to travel all over the place to help people organize things. Margaret's a good record keeper and finding novel ways to solve problems. Took, you are good at, besides the art stuff, being specific. What is your area? It's not necessarily your area. It's just something like, I do more than eco dyeing, but I think that's something that's a strength for me. You certainly have an eye for pulling those books together in a fast way. Great at procrastinating. And Took, you're great at finishing because you get so much stuff done. You are really good at finishing. Yep, and Brenda's good at cooking.
Yes. It needs to match the entire, it needs to be 100% named after the entire one. Yes.
I wish I was braver about refinishing furniture and rescuing furniture. My trouble is I want it not painted. I want to do the stains and things, and I'm not good at it. Midge is good at finding cool stuff for her journals. I guess probably all of us are pretty good at shopping, right? Yeah, I don't know if you can pop out chat on the cell phones. It's really nice, though, when Eric gave me his big monitor that I could use, it makes it really helpful because I don't have to have my glasses on. If I had the glasses on, then I can't see what I'm doing up close here. Ooh, Martha's good at taking care of your animals. Bye, Annalie. Thank you so much for popping in. Sweet dreams. Stay warm with all that snow. Yeah, honest, I can only cook a couple things. We would starve if my husband didn't do all the cooking. Okay, we wouldn't starve, but we'd eat a lot of takeout, and that wouldn't be good. Yeah, Martha, that's kind of what I feel like, is a jack of all trades and a master of none. That makes me think of my grandmother. She used to say that all the time. Took is very good at sticking with the project. That's why you have so much productivity. I mean, you are super productive. Patty, yeah, it's just paint. It's just the whole, I don't know. It's one of those things I've done a few times and it's not turned out the way I liked it. So I decided that I didn't like spending my time doing it. If I ever find the perfect piece of furniture for the sunroom, then maybe I'll take it off again. I'll try again, but I don't know. Brenda hates shopping. Wow. And Debbie hates shopping. Interesting. Hey, Penny. Good morning to you. All right. I didn't know if I would even get any of the thread done. I have to say, I love not having to separate the strands of floss. I should say I love shopping online. I hate shopping in a real, environment, unless I'm at like a antique shop, thrift shop. I like those, but I can't imagine when I'm going to feel brave enough. I'm not going to be one of those people that wants to go out and about for a while. Lala says, I love a man who cooks. I was a twig when I met my honey. Now I'm fluffy. I love it. All right. Do I want to keep going with that green? We did 3 rounds of green. I think we could do something different, right? I did that one. Let's do the light. Well, I have been able to stay away from Etsy. I did order some mulberry silk threads that I could dye for the class that I'm in. And other than that, that's right. Yeah, let's hire all the shoppers to go shopping for us. Yeah, maybe Beth. I don't have a project right now that's exciting me, but maybe I keep watching the marketplace for the sunroom. I should tell you what I'm looking for, and then if you ever see it. Hey, Abby, how are you? Sherry's a good supporter of arts and crafts. Online shopping is the best, except that, boy, it's so easy to get carried away. Thanks for all the thumbs up, people. Patty has no trouble being a personal shopper. Nice. All right, let's see if my tea is ready. I think so. I love my throat coat tea. So let's see, it's Wednesday. Or do we have a sale today, Patty? I've lost track of the calendar. I know we've got something tomorrow night. Is anybody selling tonight that we need to be aware of? Okay, now this is a very non-Susan thing to do. I finished off with this color thread, but it didn't go to the end of the line. And now I'm going to change colors. How's that for being a rebel, right? Yeah, I think a lot of us are good at hoarding supplies of all kinds, right? When I was looking at the different ideas that I had for doing the leaf thing, and I thought, oh man, I've got to do some projects that use up some of these supplies. The thing is, we buy, you buy a bottle of alcohol ink and you buy some embossing powder, and you're working on small pieces of ephemera, that are going to go in your journal. That doesn't take that much. And then you want one in a gazillion different colors, and so lots of leaf projects ahead. And I'm going to be doing a lot of papers, a lot of colored papers hopefully with my leaves on them. Leaves. Very good at eating. Yeah, me too. Hubby hasn't even started dinner yet, and I'm already looking forward to it. He's going to do a port wine sauce with pork roast, and it just sounds yummy. But I'm excited that we figured out that I could definitely do my eco dyeing and ink making in the sunroom and keep it off from the rest of the house. So I'm really looking forward to it. Oh, so Beth has great stuff at her sale tonight. Awesome. We can all go shopping. Let's see, what did I... Is my cursor still over here? No. I got to figure, probably a wireless mouse is what I need to get. I need to try out my husband's and see if it works. Amazon and you have become very close friends. Terry wants to try some pet portraits. Oh, I have another friend. They're in the group as well. Terry, you and Gail in the group want to try out pet portraits. You can start with your cat, Terry. Thanks for linking up the group. I'm real excited about the group. I really appreciate those of you that have embraced the idea to have a group that is really all about sharing and supporting and connecting with one another, and not doing a lot of the stuff that we see in the other groups, because there's so many other great groups for doing those things. So thank you that have, those of you that have joined and have started to share your stuff. Oh, thank you, Diane. She's got magnolia leaves. They're nice and big and leathery. And I'm going to do, hopefully next week, I will do the eco dyeing tutorial, because my original one is very old. And I've learned maybe a few things since then. What time is Beth on today? Patty, is she on different time, all the different time zones? Oh, so you're going to do one of the Yorkie. That's a great idea. Wonderful way to remember your friend's pet. Let's see. Next time I do this, I will definitely do a better job overlapping my things, but I'm not going to worry about it because there's going to be another layer of fabric that can go over that. You know what? I have not dyed with magnolia leaves, but I wanted some Hallie so that I could do some leaf stitching on them. They're supposed to be really good for holding up to the needle. So Honest wants to know, she's watching the news, and is America so divided right now, as they say? In some parts of America, yeah. I don't want to go into a big political thing, but because I know you live out of the country, yeah, it's some parts of the country are very much divided. Scary times right now. This is not the way slow stitching maybe is supposed to happen, but it's kind of easier to do it like this. The fabric that's collected the dyes and whatever colors that I'm doing often don't accept the needle very well. So yeah, definitely trying to get better at time management. And I think I'm, at the end of this week, I'll be reducing the amount of kits that I'm working on at a time. I won't have all my backlog done, but I'll be back to making more art and hopefully having more time to visit more streams. Yeah, Penny, do you know what time that Beth's sale starts today? I'd love to make sure we can let people know so they can go over and see it. Or maybe Diane knows. 4 Central. Okay. Oh, so that's going to be coming up here. Be right when I finish, huh? Because if I go for 2 hours... I don't know what the next layer is going to be. I have, I think this cover is going to be all green, so I will probably just go find some more of my green fabrics that I've dyed and then add some more layers, and then I will start doing some different stitches. Do I change needles when I change stitches? Maybe when I get down to doing more like a back stitch or some of the petal stitches, you know, the daisy stitches, maybe. Right now, the idea of this longer one was supposed to be so that I could gather the stitches. Okay, that's not going to work there. Let's see. Let's do one there. Strange question. Have I tried sewing my leaves with pine needles? I have not tried that yet. You could definitely get a really neat effect with that. I would probably, this is just thinking out loud since you just threw this at me, I would probably poke the holes in the leaf and then thread the needle through, but that's a great idea. So Janet says she's done it. Okay. Yeah, what's Beth's YouTube name? So Jude can grab the link and we can give her some love. Oh, 5 Central. Okay. So 5 Central, which will be 3 for me. Okay. 5 p.m. Central. Got it. So somebody give Jude her channel name so she can go find it. So Janet, what did you do? Did you actually did you poke the holes and then thread it? Or did you find a needle that would accept the pine needles? I mean, I guess if you used green pine needles, you could probably thread it. What is something that you used to make a lot of years ago that you don't make anymore? Some kind of an art thing you used to do that you don't do anymore? Anybody have any of those? When my kids were little, and that's going back 40 years, I did crocheting back then. I don't do that anymore, but I used to crochet. That's okay, honest. You know, when you're not in the same country too, you know, you have questions and you wonder. I just don't want, in case the trolls are swinging by, you know, we don't want them to decide to create an unsafe environment. You poke the holes with the pine needles. They were green. Okay, interesting. Well, I guess if you had green leaves, maybe, and a dried pine needle. Okay, so that'll be a good experiment. I like this idea. Brenda's suggestion is sewing a leaf with a pine needle. I've got a pine tree outside there. So Bonnie used to do assemblages, and she doesn't do those anymore. Margaret used to make quilts, but she's not much into that anymore. Margaret's making jewelry now, really, really pretty jewelry. Victoria did metal hand steeping and the bead weaving with tiny seed beads. Yeah, I love the look of beadwork so much, but when I did the beads on the giveaway journals, I realized that my eyes are too old and I can do some of it, but I can't do nearly the amount of it that I used to do. Soft sculptured dolls. Oh, like the dolls where you would start with an old pair of pantyhose and sculpt the face and things. I love that. People portraits. Ooh, that's a special skill. Drawing people that actually look like the people. Cross stitch. Oh, I used to love counted cross stitch. I actually used to sell, was like one of those home demonstrators for I'd forgotten all about that. I can't remember what the name of the company was now, where they sold cross stitch and crewel embroidery kits. 3D paper toiling, knitting, painting. Beth used to sew, crochet, quilt, assemblage, knit, jewelry. She's done it all, yeah. But now you're the collage girl. Plarn and crocheted mats for the homeless. That's nice. Mona used to do pottery, but it got too expensive. I did some of that too. Yeah, when you don't have your own kiln and you have to pay to have the stuff fired, it gets very expensive. Bonnie, I was happy to see you there today. For however long you can be here, I appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day. Creative Circle, that's it, Mona. Creative Circle. I used to sell for Creative Circle. It was a lot of fun, and the kids were little. Hi, Arlene. Happy to see you here today. Oh, and you used to weave. I love weaving. Oh, I've never done it. I just love looking at it. I might try some on a little loom. Yeah, metal stamping, I would imagine that that's quite a lot of impact on your body. So Arlene, what are you working on today? Or are you just kind of hanging out and charging up your batteries? It was a lot of fun. I just, of course, got suckered into buying so many things, or earning so many things, and then I didn't finish them. The stuff was all over the place. I finished a lot of the counted cross stitch. I discovered I liked working with that better. Penny does weaving. Ooh, do you do weaving, Penny, or you love it like I do and from afar? If you do weaving, I want to see some videos. All right, so Penny is somebody. I hope that everybody here in the chat can raise their hand and say that they are subscribed to Penny's channel. You know how sometimes you meet an artist and you think, how is it that most people don't know about this person? Why do they not have a gazillion subscribers? Penny's the way one of those artists for me, because I think she is so immensely talented, and she's got a lovely cinematic way to her videos. And she's a great instructor. She does a lot of teaching in person. And I would love for you guys to go check out Penny's channel if you haven't already. And if you love it as much as I do, which I'm sure you will, you would consider subscribing to her. Debbie, you get some great beachcombing finds. You make me want to almost go out and after a good storm and see what I could find, except that I know that our beaches here would be so crowded and I don't want to be around people. Lala made candles and soap. Oh, Arlene misses making braided rugs. Margaret's learning how to draw faces to add to mixed media work. Wow. So you know what this tells me here? A couple of things. This tells me we are an immensely talented group of people. It also tells me if there is something you want to learn how to do, I bet you we know somebody that knows how to do it. I bet you if you want to learn how to do something and you're looking for somebody that you can bounce some questions off of, that's what this is about, right? Sharing our knowledge. Don't hoard your knowledge, share your knowledge. And so do you see what I did there with those questions? So just keep that in the back of your mind, in the group, if you're trying to do something new and you're running into trouble, say, does anybody have any experience with XYZ? And if so, what, ask your question and we'll find somebody that can help you, find the answer. Brenda's got her hand up. What do you want, Brenda? Penny, you are a wallflower with social media, but you are an artist with heart, absolute heart and beauty and talent. And I'm going to give her the love because she deserves it. Doesn't Debbie have a funny name for her beach weaving? Hey, Sharon, good morning to you. Flotsam weaving, that's it. Yes, flotsam weaving. Debbie's channel is another one you guys need to go check out. Absolutely. Hey, so Sharon will answer to Susan and Susan will answer to Sharon. Sharon and I have already decided that we were soul sisters, from another time. Oh, Margaret's done a lot of dyeing with commercial and eco dyes, so she's thinking of doing a blog. Awesome. Oh, your hand is up for subbing on Penny's channel. Good. Good girl. So my little back feed that I was complaining about on my iPad, I still have it, but next week it should be gone. We figured out that I need to get an adapter. There's no headphone jack on this iPad. I get an adapter and I can plug in a set of earbuds, and then my iPad won't be giving me the feedback anymore. So evidently Arlene's got a lot of talent. As an adult, Martha's cross-stitch, embroidery, sewing, dyeing, wooling. Yeah, we have a couple people that have done felting in here. Martha makes rope coasters and bowls. Hey, Thunder! Photography, yes. The videoing, it's hard. And the video that I put out yesterday on the clusters, an actual tutorial on the clusters, I was very proud of myself for only pointing out the things that I was feeling bad about once, I think. We need to just let the stuff go out there, because we're here to connect with one another. We're here to share our knowledge. We're not going to worry about the quality. If you've got a lot of loud noises that are harmful, that hurt people's ears, you might want to figure something out about that. But otherwise, share your stuff. Oh, Janet might be the other one. Janet, don't you have something? What did you call your seaweed piece that you did with the slow stitching? So Debbie does the flotsam weaving, and Janet does something with and I know, Janet, you're busy at work, but when you have a chance, pipe in and tell us what you called your seaweed piece. You called it something. Arlene, we're all our own worst critics, and yet we're all here gathered together because we love to make. And so we need to quit beating Brenda, I'm going to go back here a minute so I can give Arlene all this attention. The speaker goes off, and what happens when I join with, even in the silent mode, when I join StreamYard, because the iPad is what we use so you can see my face, it puts it back up, the volume up. It's just like a weird quirk that between StreamYard and the iPad. So I know what to do. I'm just waiting for the adapter to come in. Martha's channel, yes. So Arlene said we're all our own worst critics. I'm going to guess, if I asked for everybody to raise their hand if they thought they were their own worst critic, I think everybody would do the same thing. Everybody would raise their hand, because we all criticize ourselves, because we all don't realize our value. But take a look back at the chat and look at all the amazing talent we have here. I mean, you guys have done stuff all your life. You guys have probably made stuff since childhood. Yeah, when Janet has a break from work, she'll come back over and tell us what it was. I can't remember what it was. It was seaweed something. It's a fabulous little piece of... Debbie, your channel is about you. Right now you're doing glue booking, but your channel is about you. That's it. We come to these channels. Okay, there are people that are doing streams for different reasons. But I think most of you guys that hang with me, we come together on each other's channels and live streams because we want that connection with one another. We want to get to know that person a little bit better. And that's what it's all about for me. So, it's not that I had, because I struggled with that this year when I backed, or not this year, last year, when I backed off of everything. It's because I thought, wow, I'm not a particular type of channel. I'm not a junk journal channel because I don't do it with junk. And I'm not a painting channel because I use my paint to do other things. And, I really struggled with the identity and the label. We all want to put this label on ourselves, a label on our channels, a label on ourselves, a label on our art. But we're creatives, we're artists, we're creatives, we're makers, whatever title you want to give yourself like that. And that's all you have to be. Don't worry about the typos. Nobody is going to be sending this chat to a publishing house to be published. So that's the only time you have to worry about typos. Yeah, and glue booking is kind of, like a relaxing meditation. Glue booking does for Debbie what slow stitching does for me. Yeah, and beating yourself up does not help. You go with the beat of yourself. Go with the beat of your own heart. Let's stop apologizing for being ourselves. So honest, you discovered your creative self later in life. Do you know a pivotal moment? Do you think something happened in your life that sent you to, discover creativity? I mean, I'd always been creative with words and craft kits when I was a kid. Hey, Carrie. I'm doing awesome today. How about you? Martha says, I like hanging out with this community. It makes me feel included, makes you think. Yay. That's awesome. I love that. Mixed media describes Margaret. I work in any media that takes my fancy at the time. Yep. Terry's a mad maker person or maker mad person or both. Yeah, Brenda, sorry, you're going to have to, go do some actual work rather than publishing a book on all of us. Victoria, but that's it. Okay. We're conditioned, especially as women. Instinctive response to stop apologizing common is to say, I'm sorry. Yeah, it happens. So, that's your homework for the week. Okay. For everybody, homework for the week. Quit apologizing for being yourself. Celebrate yourself. Carrie's always been a singer. Ooh. And so now she's going in a different direction with her art. Arlene says she's always been creative. Relearning has been a beautiful, painful journey. Oh, yeah, it's relearning stuff. It's hard. Carrie's been working on making and uploading videos. Yay. Beth says I can do collage, reverse collage, mixed media, but I'm not good at gluing multiple images on top of each other. So she really likes watching those videos. Debbie's working through the happiness lab and learning all about connectivity. It's really helping in these weird times. That sounds like a really great project, the happiness lab. Let's see, I moved the iPad over just, there we go. It's going to change the angle just a little bit for you guys. But
Back in college, I was working on a paper one night, and it was like 11 I should really be stacking on something.
Yeah, why do we need to label ourselves? Because it's sort of like, it's always been done that way. So we just follow the path. We're all kind of a little bit of sheep like that. Sharon says, I've always dabbled with my creativity, but I never found my niche until I discovered making journals and altered books recently. Everything I've ever tried can be incorporated into it. Absolutely. Carrie likes to cut the I'm sorry when she's making videos. Yeah, I tried to keep mine to just one yesterday. Hi, Mary. I don't know that I succeeded, but I didn't want to edit. How you doing today, Mary? Those of you that came in late, I want to hear what you think you're really good at artistically and what you think you're good at outside of the art world. Oh, creativity isn't. See, I used to get that too. I got that a long time, and even in my first marriage, the art wasn't going to bring in any money. So it was more important that I cleaned house than make art. And I didn't agree with that. Let's see. Let's change colors again. Yeah. So what is the happiness lab? Sharon found her niche in making journals. You sure did. Yeah. What can we substitute, I'm sorry for? What's a better reactionary word when we want to say I'm sorry? If we stop, I always tell myself to stop and take a breath before you comment. And what would be it's a podcast on YouTube, the course of Psychology of Happiness. Oh, you know what? I remember you posting that a while ago, and I have not got, I think I even subscribed to it, but didn't follow through on anything. Happiness Lab. Okay, we're going to go check that out. So instead of I'm sorry, how could we twist that to be something positive? Yeah, Penny says we are all artists in different ways. Absolutely. And I mean, I say this all the time. We could all sit down with the same exact materials in front of us, and we were going to come up with something completely different. Arlene, you're amazing with how you continue to follow your creativity as best you can with all that you've gone through. Yes, Lala, you are a great caregiver. Yeah, you can play the royalty-free music in the background. You can do that. Okay, wait, concentrate on threading the needle. There we go. Okay, Diane, I will do that. Yeah, we could all just start quoting Bob Ross. There you go. So instead of I'm sorry, I'm going to say, wow, wasn't that interesting? What could I say? Wow. I just learned something. Wow. What could we do? So Margaret just stitched her first leaf. She couched a thread I got in the op shop, jute maybe. It's like a thread from a piece of hessian. Oh, yeah. That's a great idea. Couch the threads on top of the ribs of the leaf. Ooh, creativity in cooking, fun and yum. Sharon, what I have heard is that if you stick with the music that's within the YouTube music libraries, it's like the easiest, unless you want to pay. Most of us don't want to pay for something. I haven't done any music. Margaret, I hope you'll post a picture in the group. We want to see that. Bob, what would Bob Ross say instead of apologizing? He's like what we should all be listening to before we go to bed, because then our our subconscious, right, would go to work for us a little bit. Hey, look at that. I like that. Hey, look at that. Arlene says she's on Twitch for the sole purpose of the Bob Ross marathons every weekend. I love it. I have never gone on Twitch. I didn't make an account, but I did actually look at some TikTok videos the other day. That was a little scary. Diane is good at making things in bulk, non-craft related, supporting others. Sharon, I agree. Sharon says, I don't believe offering an apology is a bad thing. I like to consider myself as being humble. Yeah, and I don't mean to say that we shouldn't be humble. So please don't misunderstand me as saying don't apologize. Don't go around saying, this is just, be this little so full of yourself kind of thing. What happens is I think that people would what I do. Okay, I'm just going to talk about me because that's the only person I know for sure. I could easily spend the first 10 minutes of a video saying, I'm sorry that the lighting isn't right. I'm sorry if the sound isn't right. I'm sorry there are shadows. I'm sorry the autofocus is going in and out. There's all these things that I would apologize for. But what I should say is, this is the setup I've got today. I'm sorry if it's not, exactly perfect. I'll try and do better next time. And then I move on instead of just continuing to apologize. Yes, and Bob Ross would say it's a happy accident, because who knows? Maybe the light shining in a different way might, might shine on something else that we need to see. Janet, if you're here for a minute, tell us your name for your stitch seaweed piece. I think it was you that we were thinking about earlier. No, Sharon, I know you didn't mean it like anything personally, but I want us all to think about it. There's a difference between apologizing for something that, happened unexpectedly, oops, sorry, I just spilt my tea all over my table, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to take some time out to go, clean that mess up, but just not going over and over again. There we go. Martha said it. It's about apologizing for things you think you're responsible for, but you really aren't. And it is what it is. That's what you want to stop apologizing for. Yep. Margaret, you only just discovered Bob Ross? Oh my goodness. Wow. Patty says, I think there's a difference in apologizing for mistakes made and apologetic for a lack of skill set. That's true. Very true. Beach seaweed garbage. Thank you, Janet. Yeah, the joy of painting. That's really, take joy. I tell you what, he had the whole Joseph Campbell thing down about finding your bliss. Really good. Hey, Lori, how you doing today? Arlene says she got upset the other day when a crafter apologized for having difficulty getting her page to come out right. Oh yeah, we learn from others' mistakes and struggles, and we all have those struggles. And most of the time, that's why I don't edit my videos. If I edit a video, it's not because I want to edit out a mistake. It's usually because something happened and I let the video keep playing instead of hitting the pause button, and I just need to cut out a whole bunch of dead space. But most of my videos are not edited because you need to see the real thing. Yeah, Penny said she used to, edit stuff out like that too, and she accepts that it is what it is. Otherwise, she would never put a video up and no one would get to see your work, and we need to all see Penny's work. One of her things is going to be an inspiration for a future video of mine. Yeah, and Carrie says, there have been many times that I've started a project and thought it looked awful, only to keep going and it becomes one of my favorite things. Absolutely. I mean, we've all had that, right? We make a switch, like something, we have to fix something. And then suddenly, it turns out to be, not a mistake anymore. It turns out to be absolutely amazing. Yes, Janet, please post your seaweed garbage in the group so we can see it. Arlene says Bob Ross's son teaches art fairly close to her home. Yeah, wouldn't we all love to go take that class? If we all start saying happy accidents in our videos now, we're going to know where this came from, right? Carrie, I just figure I'll spend the time that I would have been spending editing, making another video, and eventually the ums and so's and empty space disappear. It's all what you're comfortable. There are some people that absolutely love to edit, and if you love to edit, go for it. That doesn't happen to be something that I love doing. It's something that frustrates me, just like setting up the sound and the lighting frustrates me. Oh, wait a minute here. Sharon, you got to tell me more. Sharon says, I just had a visual with the piece I'm working on, a flash. Tell me. Victoria says, real videos will keep me watching for hours. I'm not a fan of the heavily edited videos because they're just too perfect, which is absolutely unrealistic. Yeah, I saw another video the other day where people were talking about videos that some of the companies were putting out to get people to buy their stuff. They were from their in-house design teams and things, or maybe not in-house, but their design teams. And they were so perfect that the average consumer, no matter what they bought, could not imagine actually creating it. Dana Jester is another one that Diane is recommending as a teacher. Patty says, I admire all of you that do taped videos and do editing. It makes her cringe to even think about it. Yeah, but you know what? You can talk for hours and never run out of stuff to say on yours. And after about 2 hours, I think, wow, am I repeating myself? So I had stitched around the outside of my pieces only and layered focal points in the center, similar to what I did in yesterday's video. Ooh, I love that idea, Sharon. So, but I've already started. I've already started all the stitching here. Are you saying not doing this? Are you saying keeping them like this and then adding my little cluster things in the center? That would be really interesting. Hey, Mitzi. Hi. How are you doing today? I want to hear what you're good at in art, and I want to hear what you're good at away from art. Lala has a shirt that says it's not a mistake, it's a happy accident. That is so perfect.
I think I walk you guys through the process.
Okay, Beth, and let's take a look at the weather report and see when we can get together for a driveway visit, at least so you can take a look at those books, okay? Besides, I would just love to see your face, or as much of it as I can see above the mask. You're a visual thinker. That's how your wildflower cover idea came to her. That's Sharon says it was a visual flash. That's awesome. I used to envy when I was writing other writers that would tell me that they would see their whole scenes out like a movie and they just had to write down what was happening. Yeah, I'm changing the colors as I run out. I'm not even cutting it all the same length, so I'm just kind of randomizing. Well, maybe that'll become the background because this kind of it's giving it that kind of a quilted effect. Let's see, do I have? I might have. No, it looks like I put them all back in the studio. Wow, the one time I actually put something away, that never happens, you know? I never get stuff put away on time, but let's look at Sharon's idea because, you know, why not? We can do that, right? Let's do just a quick little check it out thing. Just something so I can be pondering this. So if we had this as a cover like this, and let's fold, well, I'm going to have to do it like this just because I've already got this started stitching, and I'm going to bring this needle under so it's hiding. I love the things in your head. All right, so let's just see if we had that and I had picture that this was a cluster that was already done. We would maybe pile up. I probably wouldn't do any twigs. I would make sure that it was all textile-like things. So I was thinking about doing something with the clusters. So this could be really, oh, thank you, Mitzi. Arlene says, oh, that's right. I forgot Carolyn says that. Oops stands for outstanding opportunity presenting suddenly. Okay, Lala, Carrie. So Sharon, is this what you were thinking of? Something like this, where we would take the little bits and stitch them down in the center of each piece? I could totally see doing that. I just wouldn't use any of the actual live project, you know, like my mosses and things, because I think that would be a little too bulky and it wouldn't hold up if you were opening and closing the journal. No, oh, I love that you throw curveballs. And actually, I think this could be really a lot of fun. I think I'm going to go ahead and, because I want to do the straight stitching on everything. And I think then when I start piling things, maybe I won't keep it in the greens. Maybe we'll add some backgrounds like this and just cover this with little cluster pieces. And they don't have to stay in that same size even. Do I have another? Okay, so here's a long piece of my rusted fabric, and I could put that over here. And what else do we have? You know, so it's just a matter of piling things up and stitching on them. Thank you. Lori asks, when I first started making videos, was I really nervous? It seems to come natural to me. Well, Lori, I had the fortunate, I guess, thing is that in my background, you know, I was a writer for 30 years. A lot of you guys know that already. See, this will be, okay, let's get all the straight stitching done and then we can start to play with this. And as part of my thing, since I wrote books for children, I used to have to go to the schools. Well, I didn't have to, but I mean, I would go to the schools and do school visits, and I would start, talking to the kids about the books. I would read them the books, and I would answer their questions, and then I would go to writing conferences, and I would talk there. So I got a lot of experience doing the speaking there. But before I had that experience, I was very nervous, and I will tell you that probably the first 3 or 4 school visits that I did like 30 years ago, I was so afraid that before I went on stage, I literally had to run into the bathroom and throw up. And I got to the point where I knew I couldn't eat or drink. I would try and get all my visits to be done in the morning because I couldn't eat or drink before I would go speak because I was so terrified. And I tell you what, YouTube is nothing compared to having a room full of 5th graders staring at you saying, yeah, so what are you going to do? How are you going to make me get interested in whatever it is you're up there for? It was absolutely terrifying for me. So when I decided to do YouTube, the one thing that I was sure I was not going to do, it wasn't the talking that made me nervous. It was the belief that what I had to say was worth listening to. Thank you, Mary. I'm glad you're glad I'm doing more videos. I am glad too. I just, I really struggled more with the confidence that it was worth anybody's time to hang out with me because I'd never believed that I had value enough in the world that people would want to, log in and listen to me yammer. So I think that's the battle most of the time is the confidence that what we do has value. And let me tell you right now, no matter what you're making, your work has value. Absolutely has value. And if you want to do videos, you should do videos and give it a try. 5th graders can be very intimidating. Yes, absolutely. Thank you all for the kind words. Yeah, I think smaller clusters. I don't know. I think the first thing to do is finish all the straight stitching, and maybe I will work on straight stitching during the week, just so that since I'm talking so much, I'm not getting nearly as much done this time. In high school, you couldn't even get in front of the class. Yeah, it's a scary thing to do. I recommend to people, it's a lot harder to do now with all the shutdowns all over the place, but when it's safe, I really recommend Toastmasters because that's what I did. And you could go to their website, and they have a lot of free information out there on their website that you can learn as well. But the biggest thing that I can tell anybody about public speaking is that people do not come, unless you have the trolls, okay? And we've all been in live streams or at videos where there's trolls that are jumping on whoever's channel it is. But for the most part, I feel safe in saying this, people do not come here saying, oh, I want to watch Susan screw up today. That is not what they come here for. And they're not going to go to your channel because they're saying, wow, I can't wait to see how this person is going to screw up today. That's not what it is. People are coming because they want to see you succeed. In their mind, you're already succeeding because you're there. You're there. 5th graders were nothing compared to the high school kids that were in detention centers because they were in there for murder. Those were the hardest classes that I ever taught. Being in a room full of, 16, 17, 18-year-old young men, well, they weren't 18 yet, that were taller and bigger than I was and that were in there because, of the crimes that they had committed. That was hard. But yeah, thank you, Penny. And yeah, Martha says she's worried that she doesn't have enough much to talk about. And, we've all gone to streams where you're hearing people talk about what they did for dinner last night, it's a difficulty if you're streaming like every day. I think that would be really hard. It's the hanging out, okay? Patty, if you're still here, I'm going to talk about you. I was telling another friend who is not in our niche here about Patty's live sales, and she could not grasp the concept of why we would hang out for 2 or 3 or 4 hours at Patty's place while she was doing some selling and a lot of chatting. And I said, well, it's like we all went to this antique store, and it was like in one of those old time towns that had the wooden boardwalks out front and there were little tables outside, and we all went shopping And some of us took turns going in the store, and some of us went and got, something to drink and something to eat. And then we came out and we just hang out together. So people are coming to the channel just to kind of hang out. And the lives are almost easier because you guys give me lots to talk about, or you ask questions. Victoria says she failed every verbal exam we had at school because I couldn't do it. Would get a complete mental block and would be so terrified I'd freeze and wouldn't be able to say a word. Yeah, same thing. In school was really hard. I was not good at it in school. This all came to me later in life. It's the Gotawanas. And one of the things that I'm planning here, I'm probably not going to start it until maybe next month, maybe later in the month, is to do some practice, lives with you guys. Let you guys pop on here with me for a little bit. Yeah, I don't know what that is with okay, so the one on the right is the iPad. So this is on the iPad. And this is with my webcam. So the iPad obviously has better graphics. What needle am I using right now? Let's see. I have got, these are not my number 8 sharps. These are, how do you say that? Sashiko needles? I can't find the container on them. But they are Sashiko needles that are made for that kind of where people that can do it very measured do it. And I just needed to get something. I wanted to be able to do the gathered stitches, but I'm not very good at doing that while I'm talking. I'm good at starting interesting discussions. Thank you. Well, I used to ask a lot of those kind of questions about my characters when I was writing book. Patty, it absolutely is. It's just like hanging out with friends. I mean, I can be Cheers and you can be the corner antique store, right? And the thing is, you can go to Patty's place and you don't have any obligation to buy. You have an obligation to be kind, and it's great if you're interacting in the conversations, but there's no obligation to buy. Sharon, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't think it would make a difference with the webcam. I'll do an experiment, but I think it's just that this is the old Logitech 920, and eventually I'm going to get around to packaging up all my old photography equipment and sell it and see about getting a really nice webcam or camera for streaming, but not right now. Yeah. Terry kept a bucket under the podium. When you have to talk and you're that nervous, it was really bad. I only once had to leave a speaking assignment because I was getting sick. It's okay, Patty. You're not being rude. So let's see if I move. Okay, the one that's pointing down. If I move the webcam to test it differently, it's going to come out differently. I just think this is just not as quality as the iPad. Well, sometimes you got to gear up to work, right? I do. I have to gear up to work. And it's like, this is my work for today. I worked really hard yesterday, Monday and Tuesday, and this is my work for today. And then I'm going to catch up on videos the rest of today. I'm going to go check out Beth's sale. I like your observations, Sharon. I like them. See, now you got me thinking about doing the clusters on something like this, and I'm thinking I need to start another piece, right? where I frame it. Oh, so many ideas, and I'm so slow. Even when I'm not on here, I am so slow. Patty, quit picking on Arlene, huh? Yes, it took balls to go do that kind of teaching, Victoria. It did. I didn't realize it at the time. I had been teaching in, what do they call them? They're specialized programs where they're still going to school, but they're like in a portable building that's aside the school. And they were for the kids that had behavioral problems. And for the life of me right now, I can't remember. So I was teaching poetry in those classes, and they weren't bad. I mean, mostly they were mouthy kids. But then when I got the opportunity through a grant through the Arts Council to go teach in the detention centers, I thought, well, it was just going to be the same thing, right? It was just that they were locked up behind bars as opposed to, being in this special program at the school. And it was very different. The first one I went to, my hair was, very, very long enough to sit on. And I used to always just wear my hair down. I didn't pull it back or anything. And so I had long hair, and I always had very long earrings so that they would show up when, my hair was out there. And I walked in and they said, this is a big mistake. You need to do something about your hair and you need to lose the jewelry. And I didn't understand. And so one of the, guards there grabbed my hair and wrapped it around their hands and showed me how easy it would be for somebody to grab me and hurt me, even though they were going to be in a locked facility. And that was like an eye-opening experience because I had never been around anything like that. I grew up in a very calm part of town that didn't have any of that kind of stuff. I'd not been exposed to anything like that except for when I lived in New Orleans. So yeah, it was eye-opening for me to have that kind of an experience. It was very exhausting, emotionally exhausting, because you would see kids that had done more in their 16 years than you would ever want to have happen. And there's always one kid in every session. I did it for 3 years, and I would go in, 3 times a week. But there's always one kid that you reached, or that you would come pretty close to reaching, and you kind of wonder what they did if they got out or if they made any changes in their life. But there was always one that loved to write. And try telling a 17-year-old boy that they're going to write poetry for the next month. Whew. That was fun. Not so much. Martha says, Tony and I watch a lot of lives by other people, mostly RV people, and they're actually hard to watch, too much chatter. Yeah, and I've kind of been picking and choosing where I want to spend my time too. You want to get the knowledge, maybe that the person is sharing, but you have to feel kind of a click with the people too. And not everybody's good at that, and it's okay. You try it, and it might be some people say, well, I really want to do this. And they discover when they do it a few times, I hate it. I don't want to do it. Victoria says she gets really bad at walking into the studio to do a project and then start tidying up and gets sidetracked and organizing. Wow. I never get sidetracked by wanting to clean. It was quite an experience, Debbie. And some of the poems that they wrote were amazing. The hardest part for me, I preferred working with the boys, but I did do a few sessions with girls. The girls were much meaner than the boys were. But the hardest thing for me was with the girls. One of them wrote something that was just so raw and so beautiful and was in tears when she shared it. And I couldn't hug her. I wanted to give her a hug so bad, but I couldn't hug her. I couldn't touch her. All right, so happier thoughts. Sharon wants to go play, but you've been organizing and getting new shelves and painting things, all that good stuff. I might use the clusters to hide up the stuff I don't like. Penny needs to reorganize. Arlene, that's kind of what I held on to, and that's what gave me the strength to keep coming back until I just didn't have it in me anymore, is I just kept wondering if I had just one person in there that maybe started to think about, doing something a little bit differently in their life. I don't know. I've been thinking about sharing. I used to blog about it, and I've been thinking about maybe sharing some of that. I can't share their work, but I could share some of the stuff about it. Maybe on my community page, it'd be more like a blog. I guess there's no limit, right? Is there a limit on how much text? I don't think there is. Or I could just start posting it over on my website, which I'm going to actually start using more again. Oh, so your need to constantly reorganize just kicked in with the lockdown. Yeah. For me, it's been more wanting to just get rid of stuff. Why do we have this around here? We've been here in this place for, 5 years now. It's time to get rid of this stuff that doesn't work for us anymore. Yeah, it was really hard to not hug, Brenda. It really was on some of them. Some of the others, I wanted to keep a little bit more space. And the other thing we had to do is part of the deal with the Arts Council is we needed to do an art project with them. And I was still back in my, no, I'm not an artist, you know, because I had all this residual fears from the art teachers in my past. So I didn't have any idea of how to come up with things, you know, art wise for them to make, because we would have a display in a local museum. And then we were limited by the colors that they could use in their art project, because these were all gang kids and we couldn't use any gang colors. So there was a lot of green in their art because green was a safe color. We couldn't use red. We couldn't use blue. So you've got another coat of lacquer left to do on your shelves, and then it can go in your room. Oh, you're going to post pictures, I hope, somewhere when you get that room done. Let's see. Let's just finish off the center with this light green. I like that. Yeah, maybe I should work on this, on the straight stitching during the week, and then you guys won't be seeing the same thing week after week for the next month. Yeah, Penny, I hear you. That was the same reason why I didn't get my place all cleaned up the way I wanted it to, because when you're focused on one project, you want to finish the project, because you lose that energy flow. And it's a different part of your brain when you start going into the, you know, cleaning and organizing and destashing or moving things around, finding new homes for stuff. It's a different part of your brain. So I really appreciate everybody going around and visiting each other's channels and helping the subscribers, helping them get new subscribers, watching and commenting. You know, and I know a lot of us, a lot of people have different Etsy stores, whether it's, you know, for the digitals, for their journals, for the journal making supplies, and we can't support everybody we want to. But one of the things you can do is you comment on people's, you know, their videos. You comment on their posts when you see them on Facebook or Instagram, because any of that kind of connection helps people get noticed a little bit more. And so that's something you can do that doesn't, you know, cost anything. Share their videos, share their posts, you know, in appropriate areas, you know, following the rules or wherever you are. But there's a lot of things you can do to support one another without having to spend money. Not that, you know, we complain when you spend money, but not everybody has it to spend. Ooh, Patty's going to give us a good question. Let's have this discussion. What is the difference between an artist and a crafter? I think it is a personal label. This is my opinion. Okay, here's my opinion, and I want to hear everybody else's opinion. Patty says, I see so many people calling themselves crafters that I think of as artists. I think that they don't value themselves. They have been told at some time in their past that their work does not have value. It's psychological. We start to believe it after a while. Enough people tell us that, and we start to believe it. And it's okay. I'll tell you a story. True story. When we were working on all the renovations on this house, and we were talking with the architect who was drawing up the plans for us on how we were going to make me a space for my art. We were going to make me a studio space. And the architect brought us the plans, and she had craft room on it. And then she had office on it. And I'm like, no, this is my studio. It needs to say studio, because that was like a thing in my brain. It was a psychological mind game maybe, but it was a thing in my brain to claim the space for me as an artist. Tim Holtz and Seth Apter had a really good conversation about crafters and makers, I think it was, in a, I don't know, Seth was bringing in people to talk on his channel, on his Facebook page. And I think that Tim was calling everybody maker. He really liked the word maker rather than a crafter or an artist. Margaret says, Patty, there's no difference. A crafter is an artist. Artists are crafters. The whole idea of a difference goes back to the days when an artist was someone who paints canvases. Oh, interesting. And I think people used to think that an artist meant you were a professional and you were getting paid for it, and that crafters weren't getting paid for their work. Or you associate them, I think it comes back to labels. You associate them with craft fairs that are, held at the high school at Christmas time, to make money for the pep squad or whatever. It's a label that people put on one of themselves. An artist, to me, makes art, someone who makes art. And so does that mean that because this is made of fabric, that it's not art? Maybe to an art gallery guy. I can tell you a story about that too. I did some collages years ago, and I was in an art show, and some of my collages were framed and put on the wall. And the gallery owner came around, and he was giving each of us in this art group feedback on the stuff that we had in the gallery showing. And he stopped in front of mine and he said, well, this is an interesting craft and it's obviously very personal to you. And that just made me feel like crap, basically. Made me feel like crap because he did not see it as art. Now, I have to say that I ended up selling some of the stuff that was in that show, and I sold it, for some decent money to me. And people around me started calling me an artist because of the stuff I had in there. But because he put this label on me, I started taking myself a little less seriously. An artist, okay, Penny says an artist is a person who produces paintings or drawings as a profession or a hobby. I don't think so. I think it's more than that. I think that they are that, but I think it's also somebody who creates collages. Is a sculptor only a sculptor, or is a sculptor also an artist? Is a quilter only a quilter, or is a quilter also an artist? Victoria says, yes, you can help people with their Etsy shops without buying by hearting their items. Etsy stats reset every day, so the next day you can come back, unheart, refresh page, and reheart. Nice. Studio is a space where you create stuff. Yeah, it's a maker space. Crafting activity involving skill in making things by hand. No such word as a crafter. Yeah, so but is it the craft of quilting, or is it the art of quilting? Craftsmen, artists, makers, artisans. Yeah, I'm with you, Patty. I don't like the negative perspective that can be applied to each. Margaret says her 2 local galleries recognize and accept fabric and fiber art. Yeah. Oh, Martha's got the perfect quote for it from Francis of Assisi. He who works with his hands is a laborer. He who works with his hands and his head is a craftsman. He who works with his head, hands, and heart is an artist. Penny says she got the definitions for us from Google, and Patty says Google is rude sometimes. So Sharon says, I've always considered an artist created something from scratch using their own imagination and different mediums. Fabric crafts, textile art. So then ceramic arts, wood arts. Yeah, it is. Penny, I appreciate you grabbing the definitions for us because it's always interesting to discuss definitions. Yeah, Lori Marie Jenkins sells her mixed media pieces and art journals in an art gallery, and they're called art. Yep. But sometimes, okay, it's labels because it's comfortable for other people to put a label on us. And sometimes we need to put the label on ourselves, because I play a lot of mind games with myself. I'm 63 years old and I still play mind games with myself, but I play healthier mind games now than I did when I was younger. We like to bin things, we like to say, we'll put all these people over here in the crafting world, which is a problem with channels because I love to do so many different types of art, not crafts, so many different types of art that I don't want to label my channel as being just one type of channel. Wow, these are some of the wonkiest stitches ever. Whereas a crafter creates something from scratch using items from other people. digital kits, pre-designed fabrics, etc. Oh, no, I can see where you're coming from, Sharon. It's an interesting definition exchange. Oh, Penny says it reminds her of her time at art school when she created a mixed media piece of fabric art, and the teacher said it was too much like craft than art, and it should be a cushion cover. Wow. Devastation for sure. You know, and some people are not comfortable with being called an artist. They don't value themselves or the work or the time they put into them. And that's too bad. We need to value the time that we spend creating things. Martha printed out the quote that she shared on one of her photographs, and it hangs it in her studio. She says, I think if you make it, it's art. Victoria says, our art lessons at school covered every craft from drawing, painting, sewing, by hand or machine, mixed media, collaging, and eco-dyeing, along with many others. Yeah. It's an interesting question. I would love to hear more. Those of you watching the replay, let us know what you think about the difference between a crafter or an artist, or are they the same thing? Stacy says, hey, Stacy, I don't think I said hello to you. You were probably lurking and doing other stuff. An artist is all who are able to create a unique item that brings joy to themselves or others. I love that definition. Woodworking and metalworking were different lessons that came under design technology. Oh, wow. And there's so many beautiful woodworkers and metalworkers out there, though. And perhaps definitions evolve over time, you know, generations, things change over time. Yeah, I'm with you, Margaret. Wanky artistic attitudes. I mean, if you take nothing else away from chatting today, it's that everything you create is unique because you are unique. Everything you create has value because you have value. And in my opinion, everything you create is art. Now, I'm not saying it's all good art or bad art, because that's a completely different scale that things are measured against. But if you created something out of nothing, I think it's art. And even if the something uses digital kits or things from other people, I mean, I use material that was designed by someone else. I use digital kits designed by me and somebody else. I use paints that were made by somebody else. To me, that's an art. Creating something that wasn't there before. Sharon, yes, you are. You absolutely are. Sharon is an artist. Okay, I want everybody to say, you know, make yourself your own little sign if you need to that says, I am an artist. I am an artist. Stacy, oh, that's too funny. She's watching on TV, but she's looking up embroidery machines on the computer. Beginner embroidery machines, like ones that will just, that's what they're designed for, to do embroidery, or a regular sewing machine that also can do some embroidery stuff. Arlene says, I grew up in a little bitty hillbilly town. They did not offer art, only productive classes. Even woodworking classes were only for making normal household furniture. Margaret says, it reminds me of the time my local gallery, someone brought in a piece of concrete with twisted rods sticking out of it just for the ambiance. Yeah, Sharon, you need to go talk to that gallery, and you are most definitely an artist. Craft class is an elective. School board feels that art has no practical use. Yeah, that's another whole 2-hour conversation, right? Oh. I mean, what have you got to lose by talking to him, Sharon, you know? Oh, Margaret, she brought the concrete piece in just to kind of see what people would say about it. That's kind of sneaky, huh? I like that. Penny, you absolutely should finish that piece and make it into a journal cover. Give it the love it deserves, yes. Because, you know, our love translates into the pieces that we're working on. We're going to get you there, Brenda. You can't do it yet, but you're going to do it. You're going to get there. Your cooking is an art. You create things for other people to eat that are visual delights. So you're looking at the Brothers Sewing Embroidery machines. Ooh. Every once in a while I get a lust for a new machine that has a couple of other stitches, but I'm not using the machine often enough to make it worth an investment right now. I can see that, Sharon. She says she'll have the conversation if and when the time warrants, and you wait for them to come to you. You do, you know, you do what feels good for you. Debbie, thanks for spending your evening with us. Really loving having you here. Thank you. Yeah, Victoria says, how did they find out about you, Sharon? Whenever things get back to normal around here, one of my goals is to start approaching the local shops to carry some of my stuff. Wow, I can't believe it's taken me the whole time just to get to this square done, but I did more chatting today, I think. Stopping to chat. So later in the year was way off, yeah. Oh, Arlene, that's wonderful. That's fabulous. We have, you know, a great community of supporting one another. Okay, so I know that Beth is going live with a sale here in a little bit. Does anybody else have any lives that they've got coming up today or tomorrow? And if you're in the group, you can certainly announce your lives in the group. Going to zip around this square here, see if I can finish this off, because it should be just about the time. I'm going to have to do, I don't know, I love the idea of putting the little clusters on there, but I might actually start another cover with that in mind. Your job is your craft. Even tradespeople must learn their craft. That's true. So Sharon's got a secret identity. Nobody else knows about her except for friends and family on her YouTube. And us. Yep, we know. We know where to find you, Sharon. You're not too secret from us. That's kind of cool that, you know, somebody saw your stuff and wanted to know. Oh, Arlene said it just showed up in the mail one day. Well, sure, you ugly cried. Absolutely. Gosh, I love hearing stories like that. We take care of our own when we can, and we take care of them in the ways that we have available to us. For some of us, it's gifting items. For other people, it's with our words, with shopping at their shops. You guys coming here together to gather and support one another, such a huge gift. I give thanks for that every week. That, you know, after the live, this is always my Wednesday night happy is gathering with you. How did you do what? Did I miss something? I might have missed something. Concentrating on finishing here. Wow, so this is not the most attractive piece of stitching at all. I have done better. but I'm going to, this might be my example of letting it go and just be the wonky one. Victoria, that's awesome. Something that you really admire and products that you use that you can collaborate with. That's terrific. I have turned down a couple of those. It wasn't going to take me down the road I wanted to go on, but I fully support people that, a typo, yeah. Fully support people that want to do something like that. All right, let's just do a couple more wonky ones down the middle here and we can call it good. Well, we can call it done. I don't know if we'll call it good, but we can call it done. Maybe one more here to get rid of that blank space. All right, I really could have used a shorter needle, would have been a lot easier. Oh, dang it. And I've got, look at this, one of those stitches that didn't get pulled through all the way. So I'm going to try and tighten it this way. Hate it when I do that. Forget to check the back in time to fix it. I'm glad you look forward to Wednesdays, Brenda. I look forward to Wednesdays now. And I'll tell you, the reason I look forward to them even more now is since I've started not worrying about doing a special something that I can just come in here, and if all I'm doing is slow stitching for a month, you guys are okay with that, because it's all about the conversation for me. You just happen to be watching me while I'm working, but it's all about the conversation. All right, I specialize in ugly backs when I'm doing stitching, so I'm not going to worry about that either. All right, I'm going to call that one done for the day. That is there. So I think that is going to do me for today. I'm going to go make some more tea and kick back and relax. And I just thank you all for sharing so much of your yourselves in the conversation today. It was a great conversation. I loved hearing about what you guys were good at. And I want you to remember, when you need to know how to do something, when you're having trouble with something, look at all the talent we have here. We've got so much talent. So just ask a question. Ask a question in the group, ask a question in the chat, and we will find somebody that can help you figure out what you're working on. Arlene, you are a rock star. I am so proud of all the hard work you have done to get back to crafting again. So yeah, I'm going to have to take off now. Thank you so much for hanging with me, and I will see you all in the group, and I will see some of you at Beth's sale in a little bit, and I'll see you next week, Wednesdays, noon, California time. Okay, bye-bye for now.